One of the Kremlin's key propagandists, Vladimir Solovyov, has issued a new round of threats against Azerbaijan. He is threatening the neighboring country with military aggression. Solovyov made a loud statement on air on his show. "You thought that Russia was weak? You will be very surprised. If Azerbaijan decided that Turkey was behind it and it could fight for Derbent, well, for now, what is happening in our soft underbelly can serve and looks like a basis for conducting a joint special military operation with Iran against the unfriendly influence of NATO countries," Solovyov said. Such rhetoric from him is not new. Several years ago, the same Solovyov called for war against Ukraine. He claimed, "Russia only has to raise an eyebrow, and Ukraine will understand everything." However, reality turned out differently. The Kremlin dragged the country into a war that is draining resources and depriving the economy of prospects, and the losses at the front have become the heaviest since the end of World War II. Now the aggressive statements are addressed to Azerbaijan. They are made against the backdrop of a sharp deterioration in relations between Moscow and Baku. The reason was the incident in December 2023, when a civilian AzAl airliner was shot down by a Russian missile while landing in Grozny. Azerbaijan is seeking an international investigation, but Moscow is effectively ignoring these demands. In addition, the aggravation is aggravated by the actions of Russian security forces against the Azerbaijani community. Representatives of the diaspora in Russia are being detained en masse, tortured and forcibly sent to war. There are known cases of deaths among detainees. 2 people died from injuries received from security forces. Solovyov's threats are becoming not only an element of propaganda, but also a reflection of the growing conflict between the two countries. Recall, after the speech of the president of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, at the media forum in Shusha, the Kremlin propaganda machine became more active and began to whip up rhetoric against Baku. The reason was his direct support for Ukraine. These statements look like another attempt by the Russian information field to justify its own aggressive policy, including internal terror directed against the Azerbaijani diaspora. Z propagandist Yuri Podolyaka called Azerbaijan a geopolitical enemy and demanded that the situation be handed over to the hands of the Ministry of Internal Affairs and, if necessary, the Ministry of Defense.
Two small airplanes collided Sunday as they were trying to land at an airport in northeastern Colorado, according to federal authorities and airport officials. According to Associated Press, Tom Aker, the manager of the Fort Morgan Municipal Airport, said he was notified of the collision between a private plane and an aerobatic aircraft before noon. He did not have further details. The Federal Aviation Administration said it was investigating the collision between a Cessna 172 and Extraflugzeugbau EA-300. The agency said 2 people were aboard each aircraft but did not have any details on injuries. The Morgan County Sheriff's Office did not immediately return calls seeking comment.
The United States has never been closer to armed conflict with Venezuela than it is now. Currently, a heavily armed American flotilla is stationed off the Venezuelan coast, and dictator Nicolas Maduro is wanted by Washington. It is possible that the goal of the American maneuvers could be to overthrow the current regime in Venezuela, writes Axios. Officially, the U.S. military is deployed to combat drug trafficking, but many experts see elements of pressure on the Maduro regime or even preparations for a change of power in this move. The U.S. contingent includes 7 ships, including 3 guided missile destroyers and a submarine, as well as 4,500 troops, including 2,200 Marines, which is unusual for operations aimed at combating drug traffickers. There are different points of view in the Donald Trump administration. Some believe that this is a fight against narco-terrorism, while others see parallels with the capture of Panamanian President Noriega in 1989. At the same time, officials emphasize that the decision on further actions remains with the president, and Maduro should be in a panic. The international reaction has also been tense. Maduro has called the U.S. threats immoral and illegal and called on citizens to defend themselves. Colombian President Gustavo Petro has backed Maduro, arguing that the allegations against the cartel of the Sun are a far-right fabrication and a pretext for U.S. intervention. Oil remains a key factor in Washington's relationship with Caracas. The U.S. has previously eased sanctions, allowing Venezuela to resume oil exports via Chevron. But policy toward Maduro is being shaped by Trump's allies, particularly Senator Marco Rubio, who sees the Venezuelan regime as a threat backed by Cuba. The U.S. administration hopes that Maduro will either go away on his own or be eliminated. Active interceptions of suspicious drug ships off the coast of Venezuela are expected. Airstrikes and the use of drones are possible. At the same time, many experts believe that a full-scale invasion is unlikely. Maduro was first indicated during Trump's first term as the head of the cartel of the Sun drug gang, which the U.S. Treasury Department last month designated a foreign terrorist organization. A new expanded indictment could be forthcoming.